and bring compassion, discovery, and social justice to life. My name is Rupert Raj, and I am your service leader this morning. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Please take a moment now to silence your cell phones. Thank you. Let's say hello to everyone attending on Zoom. Turn to the frog at the back of the hall and wave. We are in gallery mode, so those in the hall and those on Zoom can wave to each other. Whatever your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, whatever your race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or gender identity, whatever makes you who you are warmly welcome here. In keeping with our Unitarian Universalist aspiration of radical inclusion, we invite you to share your pronouns as well as your name when introducing yourself, if you are comfortable doing so. We are grateful for a diversity of voices on Sunday mornings, and our services vary from week to week. Services run from 60 to 75 minutes. If this is your first time with us, a very special welcome to you. If you are joining us online, please consider sharing your contact information with the host by going to the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. We'd love to welcome you to our community. We invite you to check out our wonderful website, ufon.ca, for information about who we are, the services we offer, and how to connect with us. We acknowledge today that we meet on the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation. As Unitarians, we are committed to the work of reconciliation required to address the harm done to all Indigenous peoples and their cultures by non-Indigenous peoples. We have much to learn from the Indigenous perspective, that the earth is the source of all life and that our responsibility is to honor and care for it. We have one announcement. Do you have any comments, concerns, or compliments for the Sunday Services Committee? If you do, you can reach all of the committee members, Catherine Walker, KJ Hazel, Leah Hokanson, Reverend Deborah Falk, Riley Yo, and myself by emailing us at sundayservices@ufon.ca. We'd love to hear from you. To find out about special events, groups, and meetings taking place in the hall or on Zoom, go to the calendar on our website, read the monthly newsletter and weekly update mailed to you on Friday, or check out the whiteboards in the hall by the washrooms. Let us now enter into sacred time as our stand-in music lead, Lily Kwan, leads us into worship. Thank you, Lily. Very nice. Today's service is Choosing Hope, as presented by Reverend Wayne Walder. In Reverend Walder's words, "In the bottom of Pandora's box was hope. It was what saved her and Prometheus from all the challenges life throws at us. Hope allows us to dream, to plan, and to imagine a future we might never be part of." Reverend Wayne recently retired from the Neighbourhood congregation in Toronto. He helped start that congregation and initiated many interesting programs. He cleared the land to build a family home and now lives there 4 months of the year with his wife, Joan. They have 3 grown children. This pre-recorded service is part of the Meaning Making series. 15 Canadian Unitarian Universalist congregations are sharing resources to create the 8-part series, The Roots of Resilience. I'll now read the opening words by Reinhold Niebuhr. We must be saved. Nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. Therefore, we are saved by hope. Nothing true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we are saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we are saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend or foe as from our own. Therefore, we are saved by the final form of love, which is forgiveness. We'll now light the chalice. Cheryl Dendoff will read the words of Vivian Pomeroy.
Forgive us that often we forgive ourselves so easily and others so hardly. Forgive us that we expect perfection from those to whom we show none. Forgive us for repelling people by the way we set a good example. Forgive us the folly of trying to improve a friend. Forgive that we should use our little idea of goodness as a spear to wound those who are different. Forbid that we should feel superior to others when we are only more shielded. And may we encourage the secret struggle of every person.
Thank you, Cheryl. Now Lily will play our first song.
We'll be singing hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Please stand in body or spirit.
We'll now show the video of the story for all ages, Hope is a Hop, written by Katrina Moore and illustrated by Melissa Eway.
Hello and welcome back to another Bella's Bedtime Stories, where my daughter Bella goes to the local library and picks out books for us to read during bedtime. Today's book is called Hope is a Hop, written by Katrina Moore and illustrated by Melissa Eway. Hope is a light you turn on in the dark, and up before sunrise, start of a spark. Hope is a whisper you say to your heart. It's a hole and a hole and a heap in your cart. Hope is a seed that is too small to spy, deep in the dirt that's deserted and dry. Hope is a hum and a song and a pat, a battle with a bunny, a worn-in straw hat. Hope is a sprout and a splosh in the mud, the first pop of pink and a blossoming bud. When everything's tussled and turned upside down, when you're thudding and thumping and covered in brown, when you're waist high in weeds and you're worried you'll drown. Hope's a soft heartbeat so loud that it drums. A new place discovered from following crumbs. Hope is 8 ears that are huddled as one. Hope is a hop and a skip and a run. It's new seeds and soil and planting anew, and waiting and wishing for sunshine and dew. At last, there's a rainbow, all braided like rope. New hops and new hands that all sprouted from hope. The end.
Now it's time for Sharon and Charlotte to pass out the offering baskets. For those here with us for the first time, your presence is your contribution. Those online can go to our website and click the big blue donate button on the homepage to give. To help the wider community, half of all cash donations will be given to our charity of the month. This month's charity is eco-justice. Using the law to protect life on Earth, they take governments and polluters to court. They started as the Sierra Legal Defense Fund back in 1990 as a direct response to the Exxon Valdez disaster, then the world's worst oil spill. What began as two determined people working out of the back of a car is now a leading Canadian charity led by lawyers, scientists, and subject matter experts. For more than 30 years, eco-justice lawyers have represented people like you at every level of court, free of charge. If you want your donation to go to eco-justice, please note that on your e-transfer or check. For those of you who don't carry cash, we now accept your donation by debit or credit cards. This can be done at our welcoming table near the entry doors. Thank you for your support. As a spiritual community, it is our intention to be authentically present to one another, especially in these difficult times. One way we do this is by including in the service a time to listen to the significant personal milestones in our lives. If you have had such a milestone and wish to share it, now is the time to do so. We'll begin with those in the hall, and then we'll invite those attending on Zoom. Final pebble in the water bowl for the joys and concerns that have been left unspoken. I ask that you hold in your hearts everything that you have heard and felt. Now Lily will play our second song.
Okay, this is hymn number 1012, When I'm Frightened. Please stand in body or spirit. Thank you.
We'll now show the video with Reverend Wayne Walder's three-part service, followed by a video of our third song.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Walder. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you very much for having me come. Today I'm going to do the sermon in two parts. It's going to be not longer than normal, but about the same length of time, just separated by a meditation. And in the meditation, I'll play a flute that looks like this. It's a soft sound that I hope that you can allow to kind of go by you. And I won't set it up. I'll set it up now. So the first part of the sermon, then the meditation, then the second part of the sermon. And I hope that it all works for you and works for me, and we both enjoy it today. The sermon is about choosing hope. And long ago I lent my keys to my wife, Joan. Joan has a thing for keys, and she misplaced her own set almost every day. And then she would ask for mine, which made me a little bit nervous, because if she lost hers, I reluctantly gave her my keys, and a few minutes later they slipped out of her hand and fell down into the city sewer where the car she was trying to open was. Of course, it was by mistake, and they were gone. It was a disconcerting story. We're over that now. On that day, just after they fell into the sewer, we watched a huge rainstorm come on, and it rained cats and dogs, and I was sure all the water would wash those keys to the middle of Lake Ontario. The funny thing is, though, after the rain stopped, Joan thought she could find those keys. She got me out of the house. She said, "Go get a rake." And I did. She said, "Open that street gate." And with her help, I did. She was the one who said, "They're right down there," and pointed to the place in the sewer. I put the rake down, and I hooked to them with the key on the first try. She had hope. I did not. We found the keys through her hope. As I thought about it, though, I realized maybe I did have some hope. I had some. I came out of the house, I got the rake and opened the grate, hooked the keys. I didn't have hope. I would never have come out of the house. The only difference between Joan and I was that she admitted she had the hope. I don't know why I denied the hope. I can guess now. Hope is a messy emotion. And I had been hurt in the past when I had hoped for something and it did not happen. I created a thought in my mind that kind of goes like this. If I don't hope, then I can't be hurt. Paul Simon must have had the same emotion when he wrote that song, "I Am a Rock." Anybody here have their hopes dashed by some aspect of reality? It hurts. Anyone here give up on hope because when hope dies, it hurts a lot. It can crush our dreams. Well, I did not want to be hurt again, and I thought that if I just did not mention hope, I would be spared despair. We think like this sometimes in a binary way, one or the other. It's a rational way of thinking. If we deny hope, we can be free of despair. I didn't realize accepting and using hope is not a binary choice. Hope is hardwired in us. Hope is one of our coping mechanisms and surviving mechanisms. And we use hope to realize our goals. And you don't have to take my word for it. Charles Snyder has been doing research on how and why we use hope. He was a psychologist at Penn State University and the foremost authority on hope. He writes that hope is part of the way we think because it motivates us to navigate toward our goals. Our plans have the potential to be dashed by changing circumstances, illness, changing defections, new ideas, weather, and about 1,000 other circumstances beyond our control. Whenever we make a goal, we know, inshallah, as the Muslims say, it's not always in our hands. Snyder claims pretty convincingly that we navigate through the changing circumstances of life toward our goals by using hope. We hope, knowing in our gut that what we hope for might never be realized. Hope moves us forward even though we don't have this existential truth of getting what we want. The most successful among us use hope a lot, because hope helps us watch what is happening to our journey and adjust it when the circumstances change. Hopeful people have the ability to envision a broader range of goals, he says, and that seems right. If you were hoping to have a vacation next year, you might start visiting websites that give the details of the places you'd like to visit. You might wonder if you'd go alone or with family or friends. We envision our goals because it helps us to make a strategy to get them. We hope to go on vacation, and this sets us up for planning it. When obstacles come up, like not enough money or a partner who wants to go to Alaska, when we want to go to the Bahamas, we're motivated to compromise so that our goals can come to pass. But all this planning is based on hope, because the vacation might never happen. Hope quietly motivates us to learn new skills so we're able to handle the complex arrangements of achieving our goals. Hopeful means, according to Snyder, that we are using a genetic and evolutionary process to move us forward when we can never know if we will ever be successful. Hope is very rational. It's not airy-fairy. Hope isn't an idle thought. It's the motivation for our work toward the goals in our lives. We hope, and then we do. And if we deny hope, or if we do not practice hope, we limit our ability to achieve our dreams. This means hope, unfortunately, but realistically, comes with despair, because sometimes our dreams are dashed by the reality of our lives. Our rational mind wants to guard us against pain. Our mind wants to eliminate one side of this dualism. It's like this with many of our emotions. We want to feel courage, not fear. We want to feel love, not betrayal. We want to be generous, not miserly. But life doesn't work that way. To know the depth of life, we need to know both sides of the dualism. We need to hold hope and despair, or we risk becoming trite people. And trite people don't deepen and help change themselves and the world. Hope isn't a new age entertainment, it's a gritty skill. We can learn to better navigate our journey toward our goals. Henry David Thoreau, one of our Unitarian saints, wrote, "If one advances confidently in the direction of their hopes and dreams, and endeavors to live that life which they've imagined, they will meet with success unexpected in common hours. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That's where they should be. Now we must put the foundation under them." Sometimes, though, despair is very deep. Some events are more awful than others, and some of our lives have been touched with tragedy. And touched hardly seems the word. Impacted, crushed. Some of us live with losses we are sometimes unable to carry. We've lost loved ones, dreams, even abilities. And this becomes part of who we are. My mentor, Ken Sawyer, spoke with me about when hope is lost. He learned about losing hope when he had a tragic event in his congregation. A wonderful, much-loved and admired 18-year-old lifelong member of the congregation, Lauren Dunn Astley, was murdered. She went to university and through no fault of her own was killed by another student. Her parents had been coming to that church in Wayland, Massachusetts for more than 20 years, yet when Lauren was killed, they continued to come. Thank goodness. But they were different. They were torn apart. Ken told me no one knew what to do. How do you say anything? How do you understand an event that could easily destroy not only the life of this young woman, but the lives of those who loved her? Everyone wanted to help, but no one knew what to do. Months earlier, before the murder, Lauren's mother, Mary, had won the silent auction bid for a sermon of her choice. After the death of her daughter, Mary, in her grief, asked Ken to speak about hope because it was something that she had lost. Ken is a very good minister, and he thought about it for a long time. With a lot of respect and some fear, he put together a sermon about the loss of hope and what we might do to restore it. He wrote, "Suffering is universal. It's for everyone. Yet there are times when life is sometimes hard, really very hard, when grief takes away the life from you and strips you of all hope. And then, what do you do?" Ken writes, there are times, thank goodness, very, very uncommon times, but times when having hope is more than a person should expect of themselves. Times to just get through step by step, breath by breath, when hope is something people around you, your family and friends, the people here maybe, hold for you until you're ready to receive it back. Sometimes hope may not be found internally. It may need to come from outside. And others can hope while the grieving person explores hopelessness, loneliness, and a lack of meaning and purpose. It's a sacred trust to hold hope for grieving persons and families in difficult times. This trust may not require words, just intention and presence. It is more often important not to say what we believe that better days are ahead or that things will turn out the best when others can't feel that, because indeed it might not be true. When some have lost hope in our grieving, it can be a tricky balance, giving them and accepting from them even love and care. Everyone knows this inside. Our care of hopeless people will not always be just right, but maybe that is what we can do. When someone has lost hope, we can hold it for them, because they will know the hope that they may not be able to have now is a hope we are holding until they can hope again. Personally, in my own life, I have been shown great kindness. I have been held by love in action, and I have been consoled. Kindness explains nothing about why there is suffering, but it helps alleviate it nonetheless. I cannot stress how much kindness can do for our loved ones. Kind actions, kind words. They're powerful and enduring. Kindness and mercy, they heal us. It takes time. Kindness and mercy guide us to put one foot in front of the other until we can walk forward. They begin to restore hope a tiny bit at a time. It may be scary to know that there is absolutely no reason for why some things happen. It may be terrifying to feel totally out of control. Yet this is how it is on our planet. Sometimes. Could you carry hope for someone? Carrying hope might mean allowing those who are lost to notice our hope, to notice our wish to go on, to notice that we are still seeing life and the day-to-day joys and sorrows about it. It's the best we can do sometimes. With practical support, maybe some rides, maybe a meal, whatever you can imagine, maybe what's ever called for. It's a slow process to heal. I wish it were not so. But everyone I hear from in my own experience reminds me it can take a long time. At the beginning, it's just terrible to lose hope. And it might get worse. But because we're human and we do hope inside us, it's wired. It can get better. Maybe not as well as before or as one would wish, but livable, enjoyable, maybe most of the time. Mourning the loss of hope is a spiritually necessary part of grieving. It's a spiritually necessary part of grieving. Then in time as we do that, we begin to hope that a time will eventually come when grief no longer feels like a crushing burden. And hope will return eventually. Maybe the writer D.H. Lawrence says it best in his poem, Shadows. Writes, "And if, in the changing phases of a human's life, we fall in sickness and in misery, when my wrists seem broken and my heart seems dead and my strength is gone, my life is only the leavings of a life, will you help me see still, among it all, snatches of lovely oblivion and snatches of renewal, old, wide, odd, wintry flowers upon the withered stem, strange flowers such as my life has not brought before, new blossoms in time." Through your memory of despair, I wish for you hope to plan your days and build your dreams. Thank you so much for listening to me today, for inviting me here. Bless you all.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us wise, kin to all that lives and dies. Love calls us on, love calls us on. and duty. Does with a trusted love. Blessed are they whose inward beauty shares their path of truth and right. Honor is their earthly prize. By their works we realize faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. We have shared a radiant hour. We have shared when the truth has made us free. And the Spirit's gracious power. The good that yet shall be. Right the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims, now we rise. Life calls us on. 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 Life calls us on.
Wasn't that a wonderful reflection by Reverend Wayne Walder and a moving song by Jason Shelton? I'll now read the closing words by African-American gay poet Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. We'll now extinguish the chalice, so everyone please read aloud the words on the screen. Extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thanks, Cheryl. We are now nearing the end of our service. After we sing Carry the Flame, you have the opportunity to join a social group. There are breakout rooms available online and in the hall for the next 30 minutes. If you want to join an online breakout room, stay online and the host will put you there. For those wanting to join the discussion, please stay where you are. Thank you for your participation today. I want to thank the many folks who have given their time and energy to make today's service so wonderful. Our presenter, Reverend Wayne Walder, the Sunday Services Committee, the audiovisual team, Lily Kwan, our stand-in music lead, the greeters and offering collectors, those at the welcoming table, the kitchen volunteers who come early and stay late for cleanup, those who brought food and flowers in our heartfelt gratitude to you all. We'll now sing our final song, Carry the Flame. The words are on the wall in the hall. Our custom is to stand and hold hands or touch elbows as you feel comfortable.